All right, sorry about that, everyone. I had a little technical faux pas here in the very beginning. I'm not sure what happened, but welcome. I think we're live. I'm seeing it on my phone, and I'm seeing people in the chat, but it was really strange because I hit go live and my encoder was on, but it wasn't sending the signal to YouTube. And then all of a sudden, it started to play on my phone. So I said, okay, obviously the signal's getting to YouTube because the stream is live, but it still showed nothing in YouTube Studio. So I refreshed the page, and then I lost the comments. So the video came up in Studio, but then in the comment column, it said, oops, something went wrong, and showed the picture of the little monkey with the hat on. So in any event, I tried refreshing that a couple of times and nothing. So I quit the browser and I relaunched everything and started again. And here we are. So I'm not sure if that's a good start for the stream today, but we'll see how it goes. Can you guys let me know if you can see me and hear me and if the stream is coming to you? I believe it is. So yeah, let's go over here now. There we go. All right, so I will go over to the comments and start saying hello to folks. Let's see. Alonzo checked in earlier. Alonzo said he wouldn't be able to make it. Obviously, it's Valentine's today, and those of you who do celebrate with a significant other or partner or whatever, totally understandable. He's having lunch with his wife and wishes us a great conversation. So thank you, Alonzo. I appreciate that. Grish Labs, good morning, afternoon, and evening. Well, thank you, Grish. You have it all covered. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And I'll give you a special shout out and special thanks for helping me solve the Syncthing issue last week. I'm going to just show everybody that it's working in a bit and show them what the problem was. So I appreciate you. Thank you for that, for giving me your time. Terrell checked in to say he will watch later. He's out grocery shopping. Thank you, Terrell, for letting us know. Tim is here. Hoping everyone is having a hope all is keeping well. I got you. And then it's got the hand waving, but it doesn't come in as the icon. It comes in as words. Okay, got it. Morning, Jason. Welcome. And then Tim thanked me or congratulated me for hitting 30 subs. Yeah, we as one of the things I wanted to cover in the welcome. As of 11:45 this morning, we were at 29,999. And then I checked. I went downstairs to check before I went downstairs to get my iced coffee. And I said, let me check one more time before the stream starts. And at 11:57 a.m. Eastern Time, we hit 30,000. So, yeah, so I appreciate that. In fact, let me do this. See if this works for hitting 30,000 subs. There we go. Thank you, John Barker, for your built-in graphics. So, yep, we hit 30,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for supporting me over the years. It only took me 9.5 years. But hey, who's counting? We're here. We made it. And we'll keep going. You know, not looking to make it. I think I'm going to take a line out of Jeremy's playbook from this week. Not looking to make a career out of YouTube. Not looking to have YouTube make me famous or make me millions of dollars and that kind of thing. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm doing it for the fun of it. I'm doing it because I like to take what I learn and turn around and share using my teaching skills and turn around and share that with people out in the world. So, and like, I always had this mantra that if in teaching, when I was teaching in the public school system, you see thousands and thousands and thousands of kids come through those doors over my career happened to span 32 years. And if you touch, even if you make a difference in one child's life, you've made a difference in the world and you've done your job. So even if I've helped one person out in YouTube get over a hump or get over an obstacle, then, you know, it makes it all worth it. So anyway, yeah, so I'm excited about that. We definitely hit 30,000 subscribers. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. Obviously, we celebrated together here today in this live stream, and thank you all for being here. But I do want to do something like in the form of a giveaway or something, probably during next week's live stream. I just have to come up with what that is. So anyway, so let's go back and continue to say hello to everybody. We have 11 people here. Thank you. 7 likes. Let's see. Jeremy says, hey everyone, welcome Jeremy. We should see 45 freedom units here today in Michigan. Good. I think we're hitting 62 today, but it's gorgeous out. Beautiful day. Hello, OlympusNet. Thank you for being here. Welcome. And Flipseed Tech. Hello. Thank you for being here. Welcome. I don't know that I know you or recognize you, so welcome if this is your first time here. And Jeremy says the audio and the video is 5x5. Yeah, that was a weird little blip. That's for sure. Hi, Michael. Thanks for being here, and thank you for letting me know you can hear me okay. Jason as well. You are 100% worth supporting. Keep it going. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jason. Thank you, as well as I feel that way about you and the content you provide out to the YouTube community as well. In fact, all the creators that are here, I feel that way. That's why I follow you, and that's why I learn from all of you. So keep doing what you guys are doing. All right, so I think right now we have covered all of the comments. Let's see. Oh wow, and Flips Tech says first time on the live from South Africa. Wow, welcome. Thank you for being here. Very excited to have you all here today. So yeah, I do not see Joe Cephas, or should I say Beetlejuice, or Beetlejoe. I don't see him here today. But anyway, it is what it is. Hopefully TVJ will pop in at some point and we'll have the whole gang here. So I'm wearing this shirt. I'm paying homage to a group called the Tech Quartet. If you've been following the channel for a while now, there was a group of 4 of us that came together back in November of 2020 during the pandemic. And I'd like to think we were the ground setters for doing group live streams, because it wasn't all that common back then. Not that we were, I don't want to say we're the trendsetters, but I know once we did it, we started to see a lot more tech creators doing it. So, and it's funny because I didn't think of it, except that Joe sent the live stream was on November 14th in 2020. And it took a lot of putting together back then with the technology that was available at that point to bring 4 creators together to be live on all 4 channels simultaneously, and pull that off successfully. And we did it. But Joe had created a little like a trailer video, like a 1 minute or so trailer video leading up to help promote it. His wife made the shirts for all of us. And this week, out of nowhere, he sent that to me, the trailer. And I went, oh my God, it's almost 6, it's been 6 years. Wow. So I was going through my closet today and I said, I came across this shirt. I'm going to pay homage to the original Tech Quartet. And the members, well, I'll let you see the actual trailer video, and then you could see who the actual members were. So let me bring that up, if you don't mind me indulging you with this.
On November 14th, 2020.
All right, let me just start it over from the beginning. Let me get it over here. Give me 1 second. And I'll go live screen with it. There we go.
On November 14th, 2020, 9 a.m. Central, 4 worlds collide.
And I don't know why I'm talking slow.
Do your homework.
I'm a man, damn it. We never get sick.
Really how? Cajoling Technologies, Quick Tech Solutions L.L.C., and Unky Joe's Playhouse.
Am I standing? Am I sitting? Standing, sitting. Nobody knows.
Streaming live on all 4 channels. Be there.
All right, so thanks for letting me play that. So hence, that's why I'm wearing the shirt today, to pay homage to that group. And we had a lot of fun back then. And I thank Joe for putting together that little trailer that helped us promote the stream. All right, let's see. We are all caught up with the comments. All right, a couple of things. So we hit 30 subs, I believe, with 30,000 subs. Let me get there to the studio real quick and show you guys. Yep, here we go. I'll just pop this on the screen real quick. $30,000 subscribers right there, baby. So I'm excited about that. Honestly, never thought I would hit 30,000 subs. So it's kind of cool. All right. What's next? What do I want to talk about today? 30,000 subs. We talked about the Tech Quartet and why I'm wearing this shirt, paying homage to the Tech Quartet. Okay. So last week I had towards the end of the stream, shared with you that I was having issues with Syncthing being able to complete a two-way sync between a Ugreen NAS and a Synology NAS. So let me just bring this up here. Let's go to this screen here. And let's bring that online. So, all right, so let me get signed into both boxes. I want to just show you that it's working. All right, so let me sign into this one. This is the Ugreen. Alrighty, and then let me get signed into the Synology. That should be, it's still the Ugreen. The Synology, I believe, is .80. Yep, okay. Okay. All right, so let me get out of full screen for now so I can flip back and forth easier. So here's the Synology, and I'm flipping tabs now. Here's the Ugreen. And you can see that on the Ugreen page, it's synced with the Synology. It says disconnected on the Debian device because that was the virtual machine I was running with the GNOME desktop. So that's not running right now. So that's why that says disconnected. But what we were trying to do was get these two guys, the Synology and the Syncthing, to come up with this up-to-date status. And that's what I couldn't do because it kept saying permissions denied. And it was definitely a permissions thing on the Synology side. I just couldn't put my hand on exactly why. because the user, Tony Smeraldi, was in the admin group. And I signed into the Synology, both the Synology and the Ugreen with that with that Tony Smeraldi admin user. So I wasn't sure why Synology DSM wasn't allowing the folder to be written to. And then Grish offered to help towards the end of last week's live stream. Spent a little time with it Saturday night, and then the next day he asked me if he could have remote access. So we granted remote access so he can go in and poke around. And what he came up with, it's going to look very obvious, and I missed it completely, but you have to give, on the Synology side, the My Stuff folder permissions to the actual Tony Smeraldi user. Even though, like right here, you can see it says administrators have read write. Grish added the user and gave it full control, and the difference between the full control and the read and write is this right here. So the admins have full read and write, but they don't have change permissions and take ownership privileges, whereas the Tony Smeraldi user does. And that's all it was. But it drove me crazy, and I never even thought, I'll be honest, it was an oversight on my part. I never even thought to give the Tony Smeraldi specific user privileges to the folder, because in my head the admins had full privilege. So lesson learned, live and learn. So thank you, Grish, for helping me out through that obstacle. I really do appreciate you for giving your time on a weekend like that. So live and learn. All right. Jeremy says, I love that my crappy old Office PC thumbnail came up after the promo video. Did it? I didn't pay attention. In the end screen there? Yeah, I didn't see it. That's funny. Hey, Joe, you missed it. Yes, Tech Quartet shirt. I paid homage to the Tech Quartet, and I ran the trailer video that you sent earlier in the week, and I played it on the live stream earlier, explaining how back in that time era, which is almost 6 years ago, doing what we did, not that it was unheard of, but it wasn't common, and we kind of like treaded out into uncharted waters. You were the catalyst for it. I mean, you worked out all of the technology behind the scenes at that time to make it all work. But I was saying, not that we were the trendsetters, but that after we did that, more and more creators were coming together doing that. And now, I mean, almost 6 years later, the software platforms have progressed to the point where it's very simple to do now, but back then it wasn't. So, yeah, so that was fun. And so hence the shirt, paying homage to the original Tech Quartet. So, and welcome, my friend. BMark0610. What's going on, folks? Oh, well, we're here. It's another Saturday afternoon, 62 degrees in North Carolina on the East Coast here. And we hit 30,000 subscribers just about 15 minutes before the start of the stream. So that's kind of what's going on. And I've just been given a few updates on some things. Speaking of updates, I wrote to my contact over at Grandstream this week, just thanking them for sending me the GDS 3725 video door station. And obviously I asked them if they, liked the series, and they obviously do because they're promoting it on their page, on their portal partner page. And but I did mention that I was having issues with not being able to demonstrate. I had said I was hoping to demonstrate the NFC portion, but I couldn't because I was restricted by being an iPhone user, and that even the option to enable the card that I scanned last week via the GDMS portal, that option was not available yet. It said coming soon. So I was kind of dead in the water. And he wrote back, I just want to read you his, and I also inquired about a couple of other items that I was expecting to see if they had been shipped yet. So he wrote back and said, I'm glad you're enjoying the GDS. Funny you brought up the NFC option. We're actually currently working with Apple to enable that option in iOS devices. We just had a meeting with them yesterday, so hopefully that capability will be coming soon for iOS users. So that's good news, right? So hopefully the Apple will work with them and they can make NFC happen for iPhone users as well, so that iPhone users can just walk up to the doorbell and tap it and get the door unlocked. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad to hear they're working towards that solution. All right, so let me get through that. So that was one of the other updates that I wanted to talk about. Also, I have a lot of products for sale that I put up on eBay that I just want to share with you what they are. And if you are interested in any of them, just go over to eBay and make the purchase, I guess, at this point. But two items sold for me already. I sold my DJI Mavic Air 2 drone kit with the Flymore package, and I sold my Edge Router 6P, which had been my daily driver for quite a few years. So, but what I still have up there for sale, so I have a GWN 7703 unmanaged switch. That's a 24-port switch. It's brand new. It's $50. Buy it now. I have a two used Grandstream GWN 7630 access points that I had in my house here until I recently upgraded to Wi-Fi 7, so I have a quantity of two, but they are $50 a piece. I have a Ubiquiti UXG Lite Next Gen Gateway, never used. I ordered it whenever I ordered it way back when. Wanted to get on that bandwagon at that time. Never used it. I don't have the original packaging for it. So it's just coming, the router and the power cord in a brown box. It's up for $75. I got a GWN 7660 access point for $50. I have the old GWN 7062 router. It's up for $40. A 7661E in-wall Wi-Fi 6 for $48. And then the Oracle Mini Tower docking station, diskless, I have it up for $55. So these are up on eBay. My username for eBay it's a stupid one. It's called Sassason, SASSASON. That's a combination. I had a dog named Sassy and a dog named Sunny. And back in the day when I created my eBay account, I combine their names for that user ID, eBay. So, and if any of them don't sell, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But anyway, they're up there. So, yeah. So that's that. That's as far as that's concerned. Come on, come out of it. Let's get out of there. Okay. And thank you, Tim, for the inspiration. Mr. Tim Tech and I were chatting during the week, and he had mentioned that he sold a bunch of stuff, and that just kind of pushed me a little kick in the ass, because I walk up in the studio and I'm just like, you know, it's like an obstacle course to get around boxes. And this is a pretty big room. So it's been something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just hate the process of the taking pictures, posting, coming up with descriptions. But eBay has made it so easy now, even with the shipping. So I'm happy about that. So let's see. Joe says, thank you. Good memories. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. And thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. So I had the drone up for $485. I ended up selling it for $425 for the package with the fly more. I know it's, you know, I don't know. My feelings with it is it had very low hours, very low battery cycles. I think the person for $425 got a good deal with the fly more package, with the extra batteries, the multiple battery charger. It came with the UV filters and all that for the camera. So I had the hard case, I bought the actual case that was specifically designed for the DJI, that particular drone. So everything was cut out and fit perfectly for the fly more. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't flying it ever since I bought the Mavic 3 Pro. That poor drone has been just sitting there, and every once in a while I would take the batteries out to charge them up, to give them, you know, keep them, like, try to maintain them as best as I could. So I figured, you know, even if I get a couple $100 for it, you know, it's better than it just sitting there and rotting. And also, it doesn't have a remote ID built in. So if anybody who wants to fly Part 107, they would have to buy the add-on module, the remote ID module. So I think that was a fair price. Could I have gotten a little bit more? Maybe. But, you know, what really sucks is eBay took $66. I didn't realize the commissions on eBay were up so high. That's insane. But it is what it is. It's gone. Yeah, thank you, Tim. I have been in and out of your streams for a bit now, but never picked up your background. Maybe it was a bad timing or whatnot, unsure, but you're a veteran in this field. Can you take us through it? My background. Wow. That's a great question. Yeah, I'll take you through it kind of quickly. I don't want to bore people that have been around for a while, but so I made a career in public education. I started out as a music teacher. I'm a percussionist by trade, but I play a little bit of, well, I did play a little bit of all the different band instruments. About midway through my career, I became interested in tech, and it was noticed by the supervisors and principals and everything that I was tech savvy, and they asked me if I would be willing to help teachers, because that was at a time where, you know, we're talking about the mid-90s, early to mid-90s, where technology integration into education, into the curriculum, was just starting to scratch the surface, and teachers were not familiar with it. Teachers were very resistant to it at the time. So they gave me a proposition. The administration came together. We were a 4-school district, three elementary schools and a middle school. And they gave me an offer and said, hey, would you be willing to work with teachers to help them begin to integrate technology as a tool for learning? And what we'll do is we'll reduce your class amount of classes you have to teach to free you up to work with teachers. So that's how it kind of started. Over the years, I started doing technology curriculum integration. We were an Apple, they still are an Apple school district. We were running an Apple Talk network at the time. We obviously progressed to Ethernet, and then we obviously got our schools connected with fractional T1 circuits, if people remember that term, fractional T1. When I left back in 2016, I left as an IT supervisor. I had been out of the classroom and out of doing the curriculum integration and into more of an administrative role the last 10 years of my career. And I had a network admin work with me and two network techs, 2 level 1 techs, a network admin, and then myself. And I coordinated the entire department. I did all the budgeting. I did all the curriculum writing now instead of curriculum, helping teachers integrate. I did the curriculum writing and the visioning for the district and the budgeting and all that stuff. So, and here I am, and I retired at age 55 back in 2016 and moved down to North Carolina, and I wanted to do something with my life down here. I wasn't ready to just sit around and get old. So I started a tech consulting business, and that has evolved into this YouTube channel. It has evolved into working out in the field, networking homes, small businesses, mostly homes though, doing Wi-Fi networks, Ethernet networks, security, cam systems, home theater rooms, Sonos distributed audio, that kind of thing. But it's part-time. I'm not doing it full-time, and I'm not doing it to pay the bills. Everything I'm doing is strictly for actually my enjoyment. I like doing what I'm doing, and it keeps me also somewhat current with what's going on so I don't lose touch with technology. There's a lot more for me to learn. And if I were maybe 25 years younger, I would be even more aggressive with it. But I feel for where I am in my life that I have a decent handle on things. So yeah, so that's so there you go. BMark0610. I have learned a lot in the last 10 years being retired. There are a group of people out in this community that I have learned so much from, and I'm going to name a few right now, so I hope I don't embarrass anybody. But Grish is one of them. I don't know if he's in here as Grish Labs or Grish GPT today, but let's see, he's in here as Grish Labs, Tech for Fun, Practical IT, TVJ, Mr. Tim Tech, Jason's Lab, Willie Howe, number one mentor for me. I've learned so much from Willie Howe. So I've grown a lot just in the last 10 years, and I owe it all to the folks that I just mentioned. I have a nice, really good support group that are always there for me when I need something, and I am there for them if they ever need something, and I hope they know that. So, okay, moving on. Great question. Wow. All right, let's see, where am I? Joe's saying that $425 is fair for the package. I thought so. I had somebody offer me $350 and I refused it. And I asked that person to meet me at 425 because that was kind of the middle, meeting in the middle from my original asking price and their original offer price. But they didn't want to go up beyond 400, so c'est la vie. But then right as I was corresponding with that person, another person came in at 400. And I had just said simply, hey, can you make it to 425? If you come up 25, I'll come down 60. And, we struck a deal. So it worked out nicely. So, yeah. Real quick story on this, and I hope I get paid on this drone, and I'll explain why. eBay has come a long way, like I mentioned earlier. And so now you put in your box size, you put in the weight, and if you put the shipping on the buyer's part, then wherever the buyer is, it determines the cost of the shipping. And then you get it. All you do is when the thing sells, as the seller, you just print out a shipping label, which is what I did. Packaged it all up, took it to USPS this morning, and obviously they asked the questions: is there anything hazardous? Any batteries? So when I told them what was in the package, the next question was new or used, and I said used, and they said, oh, we can't ship this priority, and eBay had set it up as a priority mail shipping. And they wouldn't ship it priority because they wouldn't put used batteries in an airplane, which I understand. So I said, all right, what do I do? So she said, well, you have to ship it ground. And I said, okay, let's do that. So I shipped it ground. Mistake. Cost me $25 more on top of what the buyer paid for shipping. The eBay system isn't tracking my ground shipping label tracking number. It's tracking the one it generated. And the way it works is, I guess, as the package passes through the depots and stuff like that, and then finally gets delivered, it's getting scanned along the way. And then once it gets marked as delivered by the carrier, eBay will release the funds to me. So now I'm in a situation where those funds are sitting on hold in eBay. And I realize that they're not scanning and they're not tracking my label. They're tracking the label they produced. So the buyer is going to get the drone, but the status in eBay is never going to update. So what I did was I looked it up and they said you could call eBay, but there's no number available to call eBay. So I got on with a chat, but it wasn't a live chat. It was a bot. That got me nowhere. So then when I started digging into the I haven't done eBay. You got to understand, I haven't done eBay in probably 20 years. I'm surprised my account was still active. So, I mean, I've purchased from eBay, but I haven't sold, is what I'm saying. So what I ended up doing was I was able to edit the tracking number on the item. And it took it and it saved it. So now it's got the tracking number from the ground label, but the status, shipping status, has not updated from label created to label scanned. So I'm hoping that when the package arrives at the next destination, wherever that is between here and the buyer, that when they scan that label and eBay realizes it's the same tracking number that I entered in, they allowed me to edit the tracking number, that it'll update the status. I have my fingers crossed. I'm not going to worry about it until it plays out. But yeah, lesson learned. And that's what I get, I guess, for, I don't know. I don't know how I could have avoided that situation, really, to be honest with you. But we'll see what happens. All right. Enough about that. It all started in northern New Jersey in a bread shop. Yeah. Not a green suit, a purple suit with gold chains. The first internet connection my school had was a T1. Yep. We had fractionals between the districts, between the buildings. Yep. When I finally left, we had, I forget what we had when I left. I don't think we were at a gig. I think we had, in 2016, we had either 300 or 500 gigabits per second connections between the buildings. So, oh, by the way, that reminds me, there is a poll out there. Are you currently using Home Assistant? We got 19 votes. 47 people say yes, and 47%, and 53% say no. Okay, cool. I'll leave that running for a while. Great overview, Tony. I forgot how far back it went. Wow. T1, yeah. Apple Talk Networks. Wow. We used a program on the Macs for inter district messaging. Actually, until the schools got connected, it was inter-school only. And then once we got the fractional T1s between the buildings, we were able to use the chat program across the district. It was a program called, it ran on Apple Talk. It was called Snapmail. I don't know if any of you remember that. So, avoiding the brain rot. If you don't use it, you lose it. Yeah, correct. Joe says you can tell you were a teacher after that overview. Really? I don't know. Cool, I guess. That's just me. That was a great question. I mean, it was one of those questions that literally I wasn't expecting. That was great. TVJ says, Haley and I are impressed by your story. Yeah, thank you guys. B Mark 0610 says, thanks for the explanation. I'm currently working for a small MSP and it has been not so favorable. It hasn't been a favorable experience, even though I have been there for 10 years and am in no GM now, but before that I was internal IT. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing your story. Appreciate that. I had to shorten it due to the character restriction. Yep, I get that. TBJ says, I just shared in Signal the first network I ever saw, which was at my local school district central office. Yeah, no, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, BM. I'll check my Signal in a minute, TVJ. Alonzo, welcome. Listening while driving. Thank you. Wish your wife happy Valentine's Day and thank her for letting her let you have one ear towards the stream while you're with her. That's so cool. I got scammed on eBay. Buyer told eBay I did not ship what I listed. I lost sales. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I hope that doesn't happen here. You know, I was telling Lisa the story about how I messed up with the shipping label. And she's like, live and learn. You know, if we have to suck it up, we suck it up. And it is what it is, you know. If the buyer ends up getting a drone, actually, he's not going to get it for free because they have his money. It's just sitting there. I was going to say, you know, look at it as paying it forward, but he paid for it. It's just that it's sitting in this buffer area on eBay that, you know, unless I could physically get in touch with somebody. Well, I want to see how it plays out. Maybe by me editing, they gave me the option to edit the tracking number. So, and they saved it. And now when I bring up the item, it does show the correct tracking number. So I'm assuming and hoping that since they allow you to do that, that the next time the item is scanned, it'll update the shipping status in the system. And if not, lesson learned, and we just suck it up, you know. Listed now on Reddit. Wow, I wouldn't even think to have used Reddit for that kind of stuff, but good to know. Thanks, Alonzo. All right. yeah, so that's that. All right, I gave you guys the NFC update. We went through the products for sale. I want to, I set up HA in Proxmox this week. But I wanted to, I haven't tested it. It's set up. I'm pretty sure it's set up correctly. So what I thought I would do is I left one machine where I still have to set it up. So I thought maybe I would just set that up live with you and then actually test it live to see if it fails over. I'll kill the one node and see what happens. So let's do that. And now I'll go back to the comments. All right, so let me get this up here. Here, I don't want to blind you guys, so I'll bring it up on the screen first. Okay. All right, let me bring this up on the screen. All right, so I'm in my Proxmox. Which one am I in? I'm in PVE 2. Okay, that's good. That's where I want to be for this demonstration. All right, so I have PVE 1 with all the VMs up here. I mentioned last week that this is PVE is going to be PVE or PVE 1. It's going to be my kind of my test node where I play with things. I try to learn about new things like that. But I left Bento running there. And then down in PVE2, which is that GMK Tech Nook K10 Nook mini PC that I bought to use for Proxmox, I have my main services that I'm more reliant upon in the home here running on that node. So we're talking about AdGuard Home, we're talking about Image, we're talking about Home Assistant and Nginx proxy server. So I've set these three or four, no, actually 3 of the 4. I didn't do it for Image. I set AdGuard Home, Home Assistant, and Nginx proxy server set up in HA. So if we come up, I'll show you that real quick. And I am by no means an expert. This was my project for the last week, was to learn it and figure it out and try to familiarize myself with it. So if I come into HA, let me see if I can make this screen a little bit bigger. Okay, that should be better. So I have under HA, I have the resources here. So I've added, so if we look at AdGuard Home, if I say edit, all right, you can see it's VM 103. The maximum attempts to restart and relocate, I just left at the default 1. And the request state is you have options here, started, stopped, ignored, or disabled. So I am set it to started because when it fails over, I want it to start, right? When it senses that the node that it's running on is no longer available, I want it to fail over and start on the other node. Now, by default, failback is checked, and that's a little deceiving. I found that a little deceiving because if you don't hover over the check mark to read the little help screen, my assumption was it was going to fail back automatically when its original node came back up. It did not when I tested it. So what I learned, I did try it one time. What I learned is if this is enabled, if failback is enabled, you have to set up rules, affinity rules, which used to be referred to as, over here in HA, it used to be groups, but now in version 9, they refer to it as affinity rules. So if we look at so you got to do this for your resources. So I set up the 3 machines, and they're all set up the same with the state of started and the max restart and failback true. But then if you look at the affinity rules under HA node affinity rules, if we edit for VMs 103, 112, and 115, if we look at edit, you can see here now that what you're specifying in the affinity rule is that PVE2, in my case, is the priority node where they should be running. But should PVE2 go down and if they fail over to PVE, setting PVE2 here as the priority node by checking it allows it to fail back when the node comes back up online. Now, you could put in percentages, you could weight it here. In this case, because I only have 2 nodes, my third node, in so to speak, is a queue device, which is just there for the third vote. So it's not listed here. But if I had a true third node or a fourth node, I could actually weight it, and so I could tell it, because how does it know which node is the one it's supposed to fail back to if there are multiple nodes? So you can put in weightings here, like, and weight this one the highest. But since it's only 2 nodes, all I have to do is tell it here that this is the node that when it comes back online, if it fails originally off to PVE, I want it to fail back to PVE2. So that's how I have the affinity rules set up. And they work in conjunction with the listed resources here. So I learned that. All right, so what I wanted to do was take this Bento PDF machine, which is running right now on node 1 PVE, and set it up for HA. So we can do that. Let's see. I thought I could do it from this menu here, and I thought, let's see, yeah, manage HA. You could do it from here, or you can go up to the data center. So manage HA. So now this is the same screen I would get if I went up to the data center. So VM 113, and I'm going to leave just all this stuff set to the default and say add this. But now, because I'm leaving this checked, I have to go set up the affinity rule. So we're going to say add. And now if we go up to the data center, we can see that VM 113 is starting up. The others say started. This one says starting, and now it changed the status started on node PVE. All right, so we have that. So let's now go in, and in the affinity rule, we're going to go to add an HA resource. We're going to add the Bento number 113. Now here I'm going to tell it the opposite, because it lives originally on PVE node 1. So I'm just going to check. I want it to fail back to PVE node 1. I want to give that the priority. So now, in theory, if I pull the plug on node 1, so I'll just make sure I'm on PVE node 1, and I'll come down here, and if I say shut down, in theory, what should happen is eventually the systems will sense that node 1 went offline, and we should see Bento come back, start up down here in PVE2. Then I'll have to physically get up and go start PVE node 1, and we should see it fail back. So let's see what happens. I don't know if it's going to take a while or not, but I'm going to shut down PVE node 1. Shut down node PVE, yes. All right. So from what I've seen videos online, we should see bulk shutdown VMs and containers. Down here, we got the status message of OK. So eventually we should see PVE up here, the green check mark change, and it should go offline. Yep, there we go. All right, so we have the red check or red X. And eventually we should see Bento move from here down to here to PVE2 if this works. So let's see what happens. Yes, I just saw Jay's comment come up. I just glanced down at the laptop. It is on shared storage. It's on the NFS share on my Ugreen NAS. So let's see what happens. So the node is definitely down. Let's see if I refresh the page. Aha. All right, so I don't know if you noticed, but it disappeared here. And here it is here, and it should start up. We should get there's the green check. So now if I go to, it took a bit. If I go to Bento PDF, bad gateway, huh? Let's give it a second. Let's try that again. There we go. There it is. Okay. So that came up. So that worked. And now it's running on PVE2. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go fire up, press the start button on the old PC over there and fire up PVE1. And we should see PVE1 come back online. And hopefully, if I set up the infinity rule correctly, we should see Bento leave PVE2 and come back to its priority node, PVE1. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I just thought of something I want to show you before I didn't start up the other node yet. But the other thing I wanted to show you was I'm going to come back down to PVE2. I'm going to come into shell, and I want to show you the that the actual Pi Q device is actually doing the job it's supposed to be doing. All right, so if we look here, we only have, down at the bottom, we only have PVE2 showing up and the Q device, which is the Pi, and yet we have quorum, right? Because we have the 2 votes. So I just wanted to show you that before I bring it up. So, because what I understand is if I didn't have the Q device, it would really mess up the cluster if one of them went down. And I had, so I'm learning. Okay, let's start it up. Okay, let's see. We should see the status here change eventually for PVE node 1. It should come back up online in a minute or two. And we'll get to the comments in a sec. Refresh. I'm pretty sure I started PVE node 1. Yep, there we go. We just got the green check mark here. And we should eventually, if the affinity rule worked, we should eventually see Bento leave PVE2 and end up on PVE1. So let's see what happens. And let me go. My phone is blowing up over here. Hold on 1 second. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. I'm looking at the pictures of Jay sent me of the network rack. Anyway. Oh, look. Bento is back up and running now on PVE node 1. So success. And so we should be able to now go and load Bento. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So that's the homework I did this week, was to teach myself setting up high availability on Proxmox. So I'm happy that that's working. Yeah. So I don't know what's next other than just to play and try to create virtual machines for more OSs that I want to learn and all. So, but anyway, kind of made some decent progress, I think, in a short time. So I'm kind of happy with that. Let's go back to the chat. You know, Grish, that's a good idea. If it's high profile, he records the packing process. I record getting it packed and dropped off in case of any disputes. Excellent idea. Mr. Tim Tech says that's odd, as the UK eBay release funds pretty much after the label is created or day after, even before delivered. Yeah, not here. It says, it states that it will, let me see. I remember it stating that it will release the label once the item is delivered. Let me see if I can just... oh, somebody just bought the 7661E in wall. How funny. Was it one of you guys? Let me get to one of the other options. Sold. I shouldn't be doing this while you guys are on the screen watching, but anyway, trust me, in the U.S., they won't release the funds on eBay until the item is recorded as delivered. Okay. You can send buyer a message on eBay if a case opened. They look if you communicated to the buyer. I did, yeah. We communicated back and forth. I actually, when I left the post office, I told him I ran into a snag. I told him that I ended up paying $25 beyond what he paid, and that I would absorb that since it wasn't his fault. And I sent him the tracking information. So that there is a record of a back and forth on that. And the team that I have, BMark0610 says, and the team that I have, I live in a unique area. Some people shouldn't even be working for the company. I think that's kind of, everyone could say that in some respect. I could definitely say that. So, Joe says, I never thought you would be this deep into Proxmox. Well, I have an addictive personality, I guess. When I get onto something, I go all in as much as, or I can go all in within my means. And there was Jay's, yes, it was on shared storage for sure. That's one of the requirements. I should have mentioned that. What's next? Joe says, getting rid of all GUI mental gymnastics on CI. No. Nope. You guys can remain the CLI. I'm just trying to broaden my skills. That's all. No, I no, Grish, I wasn't. I specifically launched the UI for Node PVE2 so that I could monitor the PVE progress. So it's becoming a Proxmox king. No, not really. Not really, Tim. So you are not seeing the updates? Never mind. Proxmox Solutions, L.L.C. You had to throw in the L.L.C. without the period after the C there, Josephus, huh? Or should I say Beetle Joe? Oh, my God. Yep. Well, that's also probably part of it, right? Because dementia does run in my family. So I know probably at some point, down the road, I hope not anytime soon, that, that might be something I face. So doing everything I can to keep my brain going, and stimulated. And when I'm not doing tech stuff and learning new things, I don't know if it's the teacher in me, but I love to learn. I love to absorb material. I love to absorb new things. I'm much better at learning new things when I want to learn them rather than if I have to learn them. But I think that's the case for a lot of people. But even in my off time, when I'm not doing tech stuff, I'm playing word puzzles on my phone constantly, and to just keep the brain active. Like fine wine. Did you put both nodes on behind a reverse proxy so it doesn't matter which web interface you connect? Actually, both nodes are behind the web proxy. Yep. And Jason says, Proxmox, it is addictive. Have you tried out XCP-NG? Do you run X? No, I did. I never did. Proxmox was, Proxmox was my first true hypervisor. I ran VMs on like things like on a Synology, like on their virtual machine manager, or on the Ugreen. They have like similar to the Synology virtual machine manager. They have a virtual machine application in their OS, but I never. This is my first like real hypervisor. Back in school, we didn't virtualize back then. Anything really. We had all bare metal servers, and everything was bare metal. We didn't virtualize at all. And my network admin kept talking about it. Kept saying, in fact, our network, believe it or not, was a flat network. Even with the three, our middle school was our core, and then everything branched out off. The three elementary schools branched out off the main hub, and it was a flat network. I mean, we didn't even have VLANs. And towards the end of my career, we kept talking about it, myself and my network admin. But things were working, and it was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of mentality. And funding in public organizations like school systems is hard to come by. So at times, so yeah. I'm proud. Oh, why did I go back to school? So, because I wanted to mention, Grish, that we played with, I believe there was a program called Parallels, and we ran it on the Mac, so that on the Mac OS, so that we could, fool around with VirtualBox, but that was about the extent of it. Jeremy says, I'm proud to be a CLI junkie. If it means I can get something done faster, I'm all about it. See, now that's the thing, Jeremy. Maybe, like, I don't know. When I watch you guys go down a rabbit hole to figure something out to get it working, I've seen Jay do it. I've seen you do it. And I see more time spent trying to get something working and sometimes not getting it working in the end, rather than spinning it up, a retail app, and I'm in business. So it's an interesting comment that you bring up about I'm proud to be a junkie because it means you can get something done faster, because I don't see CLI getting things done faster. So just saying. Chris says, I'm a CLO junkie too. It's deterministic. Well, and as I learn more about it, I'm seeing the power in it. But then again, because we're humans and we get caught up in, gotta make it work. Why isn't it working? Gotta make it work. You know, that's where the time gets invested. And, you know, I don't know. I just don't know that it's faster. It's easier to just double click in an app in a user interface. Anyway, sorry, that's just me. Joe says he remembers parallels. Yep. So, anyway, let's see how the poll is doing. 57% no. 21 votes. Aren't you currently using Home Assistant? Yes. 43% no. 57%. I'm going to end that poll, and then I'm going to ask the question for those of you who answered yes to the poll that you are running Home Assistant. Are you running it? Are you running Home Assistant? Are you running Home Assistant on bare metal or virtualized? Actually, are you, I don't like the way I worded that, are you virtualizing Home Assistant or running on bare metal? Question. Just so I know you're responding to this question, just start the answer with the letter A, colon, so I know it's an answer to the question. There you go. So are you guys who are running, the 43% of you, if most of you are still here, that are running Home Assistant, are you running it virtualized or are you running it on bare metal machine? Oh, we need to clip that. It does what you type. Grish says GUI is an abstraction layer, but GUI is there because you can't see what you need to know in a concise way. And I don't argue that. I can't disagree with that. Mr. Tim Tech says true, although I am more of a GUI person now, but when DOS was about, I loved commands. Fair enough. So, let's see. We are live for an hour. Let's see. I want to go over Practical IT answered a virtualized full fat VM and not a container L.L.C or Docker. Gotcha. Joe says it's like communicating with the GC versus the drywaller directly. I'm running Home Assistant in an L.L.C container. I pass through the USB Zigbee. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. A virtual Docker. Wow. Okay, cool. So I remember the first time I met Grish, or the first time I had correspondence with Grish, and that was, we were staying in my sister's condo while our house was being built. I had my temporary studio set up there. So that was, let's see, that was in 2021, maybe early 2021. And I did some kind of video on something using containers on Synology. I don't remember what it was. And Grish, out of the clear blue sky, emailed me and said, if you, and I forget what it was, he shared a command in the email, and he said, here, you need to go into the Docker. You actually have to get into the CLI of the actual Docker container, use this command, and you'll be able to do, and I forget, but that was my introduction to Grish. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, this guy's deep. But then again, back then I wasn't into virtualization all that much. I wasn't into Docker all that much. I certainly wasn't into, command line. Although, like Tim, back in the old DOS days, I did like messing around with the DOS commands. Which a couple of them, a lot of them seemed common sense to me back then. So, Tim is asking Grish, what Zigbee controller do you have? Grish says Grish was 14 in 2021. That's great. I wonder if we gained any more subscribers in the live stream. Let's see. Oh, we got one more. So we're at 30,001. So, anyway, yeah. Zigbee to MQTT. Yep, that's what I have set up, courtesy of Mr. Tim Tech's videos. Again, thank you, Tim. He's in his 30s now. That's awesome. So, all right, I want to take a look at the polls real quick. It is Valentine's Day, so I don't want to stay on for a 2-hour stream. But at least I was able to get here live, so I'm happy about that. And at least celebrate 30,000 subscribers with all of you. Let's see. What am I coming here for? Oh, yeah, my channel. Duh. All right. Posts. All right, let's see. We have yesterday's, Wednesdays, and Mondays. And we'll look at Saturdays because it doesn't go live. It's not live very long. It goes live, I think, at 10 o'clock. The stream starts at 12:15, so there's really not a lot of votes gathered in that first 2 hours. So we'll look at Saturdays as well. All right, let's switch out to here. All right, so your home lab, this was last Saturday, 166 votes. Your home lab lives on older repurposed gear, 22%, mini PCs and Nooks, 23%, home-built devices, 7%, all of the above, 49%. 49%, all of the above wins it. Yep. I fall into the I don't really, well, I shouldn't say that. Well, I guess I do. Yeah, I fall into the all of the above. Yep, because I'm using all three of the others. Okay, yep. All right, moving on. Actually, there were comments on that. Let's take a look at the comments. Great question. I do wish YouTube gave us more option. Yep. More poll options. Single board computers would make a great option as well. Yep. David says, my current home lab is a smorgasbord of various equipment right now. If I can hit the lottery for a decent amount, it would be something unbelievable. Tim says, my home lab is running various Ugreen NAS, GMK Tech, mini PCs, Alta Labs routers, Alta Labs switch, VMs, and multiple SM light SLZB coordinators, although I'm stripping out the Alta Labs gear and hope to replace it with Grandstream gear like what I use in my home network. Terrell says my home lab is running on a Dell R710. Local admin says 2 NAS, 6 servers, 5 headless laptops, 3 Nooks, 30 or so more microcontrollers, and SBCS. Wow. Good Citizen 573 said, none of the above started out that way. After 15 years in IT, I saved up and have a fairly overkill home lab setup, 10 gig throughout the house. Maybe overkill, but fairly future-proof. Really wasn't all that bad, but time and labor to run the wires was tedious, but well worth it once complete. Every room in the house has 3 Ethernet ports, 2 different single jacks on the walls, outlet height, and all rooms have one on the ceiling for future APs as needed. I do remember reading this comment last week, so this comment must have been like, he must have been one of the first responders to the poll. So, okay. Back to 5 days ago. All right. Monday's poll is your primary hypervisor is, we had 121 votes. Proxmox wins with 61%. XCP&G only 2%. VMware 22%. And VirtualBox or using a NAS virtual machine manager 14%. Interesting. Let's go to comments on this one. Pretty much the breakdown I expected, Jeremy says, with this crowd. I also use UDM on Mac OS once in a while. Alonzo says currently using a combination for virtualization, NAS, and VMware Workstation Pro. Plan to use Proxmox. Jack Squad says, what? Is Unraid chop liver? New improvements have made it a real contender. They've been hiring new development staff and modern innovative features are being released on a regular basis. Every month there's something new to be added. Oh, cool. That's good to know. Grish was saying surprise VMware is at 25% at the time he made the comment. Yeah, it ended up at 2%. VMware ended up at 22%. So, cool. All right. That was 3 days ago. Do you run containers in your home lab? Simple yes or no. 108 votes. 69% wins at yes. 69% of you say yes. 31% of you say no. No comments on that one. And yesterday's 115 votes. What do you protect the most? Data via backups. 14%. Passwords, secrets, 17%. Network, 4%, all of the above, 65%. Yeah, I figured all of the above was going to win. And again, we're only limited to 4 poll options. So, yeah. Let me see something here. Jay, if you're still here, are you okay with me sharing? Well, you shared it with the group. Are you okay with me sharing those school network pictures on the stream with the community? I will start to download them just in case you say yay. I can't give you much commentary on them because I really have no idea what's in place, but did I get all of them? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me see if I got them all. I don't think I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one did I omit? Bear with me. Okay, I got 6 of them. Okay. All right, cool. Let me bring them up to the computer real quick. Hold on. Do. Hopefully they'll transfer quickly. That was pretty quick. All right, let's go to the comments. I guess I aged very rapidly and doubled my age. I aged rapidly and doubled my age in just 5 years. I must be the youngest here then, as I am in my 20s. Well, plus another 30. Yep. Joe says, Grish work. It works. Makes sense. You age at double speed. Fits the plot. Yep. I'm not special by any means. LOL. Thank you, TBJ. I appreciate it. How many languages do you speak again? I'm assuming yes, that's going out to Grish. I had good memory recall, but ever since kids, I feel like I'm questioning if I have a stroke because I can't remember a word. That's funny. Wait until you get my age, Grish. Jeez. 4 languages, not including programming. Yep. I will say, though, VMware Workstation is very, very good as a Type 2 hypervisor. I used to have a buddy. He's since passed away from cancer 2 years ago, but he used to work for VMware. And I remember, in fact, he always said to me, yeah, if you ever want a VMware Pro license, just let me know. I can get you one. And I should have taken him up on it. But I was kind of, even back then, setting my sights on wanting to do Proxmox. I've been talking about Proxmox for years, about wanting to get into it. I finally did. But yeah, unfortunately, he's gone. After VMware got taken up, was bought out or taken over, he left the company and went to work for, not for Google directly, but he got a job consulting with this company that Google hired the company for consultants, and he got to consult with Google for 8 months, which was a really cool gig. I remember he liked that a lot. But anyway, so that's that. We've got 17 people here. We have 24 likes. I'm gonna go back to the chat. I think we're all caught up with comments. We did everything I think I wanted to do. Grish just commented, it didn't come up in H2R yet. I haven't done anything more with H2R. I did rewatch John Barker's video introduction on the new features, and again, I felt the same way that I felt after seeing it the first time. There's really not anything new in version 3 that I have a use case for. So I probably won't even explore it any further. I just kind of wanted to upgrade to stay in that upgrade loop so I don't fall too far behind. Grish says, during my teens, I sat and installed Windows Server, Windows clients, firewalls, and all sorts of stuff in VMware Workstation, made entire virtual business and challenging scenarios that solved them. Cool. Doogie Howser. I'm going to start calling Grish Doogie Howser. Many of you younger folks probably don't know who Doogie Howser is, but some of you around my age will get the reference. Spent a lot of years in VMware Workstation. Alonzo says he's home. He still uses VMware Workstation Pro. And Jay just responded, yes, I can share the photos. Cool. Now to find them. I know they went in my downloads folder. But where? Problem is, I got to start cleaning up my downloads folder. There's so much crap in it. Let's see if I can find these images. There we are. Oh wait, no, that's my rack. Duh. they go? Wait. Hold on one second, guys. Getting a message from the missus. Also, I find, and this just reminded me of something, but it's not. I'm not referencing my wife on this. So right before the stream, I follow a comic called Rocco the Comic. Now he's on all the socials. I'm not sure. He goes as Rocco the Comic and Rocco the Comedian. And he released a short today for Valentine's Day, and I caught it right before the stream. And it started off. Now, you got to understand, I like it. I could appreciate Rocco because it's Italian comedy. Like he's an Italian comic, and he makes fun of growing up Italian, like how it was in an Italian household. But the humor that he talks about is like it's true. So I mean, I could relate to it, but it makes me laugh. But he starts off his short today saying, "Happy Valentine's Day, everybody." Today's a great day. It's a day where that person that yesterday you called a damn pain in the ass is now the love of your life. And then he went on and on. But just that opening caption, the expression, and that statement just cracks me up. So anyway, and no, the comment coming in from, I'm not saying that my wife is a pain in the ass, because she is not. She's one of the best things, or the best thing that ever happened to me. But he cracks me up. All right. I'm not seeing those images, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to send them up again, and then I'll just go through them later. Bear with me. All right. Okay, here they are. Let's bring them out here. Actually, let's just open them with preview. Hopefully it'll open all 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Let's go up here. Let's go like this and like this and like this. All right, let me get Jay's comment off the screen. All right, so we got this. Wow, look at that. I'm not sure what those devices are, but like, look at you could see the era of the way they're like the old light tan boxes. And this is the rack. We had a freestanding rack like this in our library. One of the racks in our library, middle school library. It had three network locations in it. One of them, I mean, ours, it was neater than this, but we had one of those freestanding racks like that. Wow. Jay, you should be showing these on your stream so you can comment on them. You can do voiceover commentary. I'm not doing them justice, but at least, there you go. Let's do this. Yeah, again, I can't make out what like these devices are, but and this, I could say this server reminds me of, well, it looks like a box very similar to the internal copper phone system, the copper phone lines we were running for all our school's phone system. So let me go back to this first one and zoom it. Yeah, so there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the server 6. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's go back to the comments. That server must have weighed a ton too, I'm thinking. Doogie Hauser, MD. That's correct, Terrell. Helly and I are watching in the car as we run around town. Well, thank you guys. Terrell says, same here. Mr. Tim Tech says, the best thing that happens to us is being born so that we can be with our partners. The second best thing. Aw, that's cool, Tim. Tim says, loving that server. So, all right, everybody. Wow, we got still 18 people here, 24 likes. Thank you, everybody, so much. If you joined us late today, just do a quick recap of what we did. We hit 30,000 subscribers today. Actually today, like literally 15 minutes before the stream. I will be doing something to celebrate it next week, aside from celebrating with you all here. Tech Quartet was a group of 4 content creators, myself, Willie Howe, Conjoling Technologies, and Unky Joe's Playhouse. We did this collaborative live stream that was cast to all 4 channels simultaneously back on November 14th, 2020. So just commemorating this because Joe found the trailer that we used to promote that stream back in 2020 and sent it to me and this week. So I thought, it would be cool if I commemorate that. We talked about the Syncthing update. Thanks again, David Grishko, for your help. Much appreciated. I talked about the NFC update for the Grandstream door stations. Grandstream is currently working with Apple to bring that functionality to iOS, so that's good. Very cool for that. Talked about the products that I have for sale on eBay. I was going to unbox the Switch Pro. Don't ask me to do it, folks, because I'm running late on time and it is Valentine's Day. If this was just a normal stream, not Valentine's Day, I would have then said, well, let's unbox and hook it up and set it up. We'll save that for next week because we are already live almost an hour and a half. We went through the weekly polls. I showed you that I learned how to set up high availability in Proxmox. We tested it live here in the studio on the stream. You saw it fail over to node 2 and then fail back over to node 1 when the first node came on the screen, came back up online. So yeah, we covered a lot. So yeah, so let's go back to the comments one last time, and then we were out of here. Running Novell, Banyan Vines, Token Ring back in the early. Wow, yeah. That server, Terrell says, apart. Take that server apart and make a sleeper PC in it. Jay could call in. Oh wait, he can't make fun. Jay, you will never live that down from that stream we did. Oh my God. Love you, Jay. Yeah, we love you, Jay. Grish says, I want to get into all the stuff that came before my time, retro, networking gear, servers, etc. Yeah. Those boxes were some sort of serial to T1 boxes. Wow. Terrell says he still watches Unky Joe every now and then. As I do too. I always, every once in a while, go out to the channel to see what he's up to, pop in and say hello. Yeah. So, all right, folks, on that note, thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here with me as the channel crossed 30,000 subscribers. And thank you all for the support over the years. Really, really do appreciate it. And it's all of you that keep me doing this. I do love doing it, but there have been times over the years where I thought about just hanging it up. I'm not in that, frame of mind, time frame right now. I'm still enjoying it. So as long as I'm still enjoying it, I will still continue to do it. On that note, probably Syncthing video will be coming this week. I know I did an rsync video last week. This week, now that Grish helped me solve the Syncthing dilemma, I will probably put a video together so that I can get back to that customer, or not customer, client who requested it. So so that's about all that's on the agenda. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you all hopefully next Saturday. Take care.